Hi, Titus. How are you?
I'm well, Boris. How are you doing?
Fine, and you? Uh,
Excellent. Well,
Abraham Van Helsing is often portrayed as a monster hunter, but here is a haunted father. What attracted you to this more intimate, fractured portrayal?
I just felt like we've seen so many different iterations of Van Helsing, and every actor has brought a different idea to it. This, to me, was a more subtle version of the character, and also uh, I did not the story did not have all the typical things that you have in these films. It's not a vampire film, so
Oh,
no running around with stakes and
yeah.
sword fighting, and fighting vampires. It's a much more of an unseen threat and
Yeah.
more of a depiction of a man who is trying to prepare his sons for the inevitable. Part of it is a right, a rite of passage as a father bringing his children, but the circumstances are are broad because you're dealing with malevolence and evil, or so we think. He certainly believes that, and his children, he's just preparing them.
How did you tap into Van Helsing trauma without overplaying it?
Well, I think that what we all know is the backstory of Van Helsing, and there's a level of kind of, I guess you could say it's like, post-traumatic stress disorder.
Yeah.
He's seen so much. He is well versed. His knowledge of the darkness and the evil of Dracula and the undead. Um, and so, but at the same time, a man like that, in my interpretation, I wanted him to be a practitioner of Stoicism. And so it, he's very calm
Oh,
in the circumstances. And I think within that calmness, it would create a sense of comfort for people that were around him. But I think also part of this film is that we don't know as the audience if this is really happening or if we're seeing a man who's descending into madness.
yes. There is an ambiguity about whether Van Helsing fears are justified. How did you approach playing a character that the audience might not fully trust?
I felt that it was important for the audience to see in certain moments when he's interacting with his family, uh, a humanity and a tenderness, but not too much. Um, and I felt that it was, I had to it's a very, calibrate that carefully because the audience, because of his stoicism and his stillness and at times his sternness, um, they're not really sure how to read him. They don't necessarily. He's like sitting in a three-legged chair. It's a very precarious balance there, and that was, for me, something that made this character very interesting to play.
How did you collaborate with Natasha Kermani to find the balance between strength and instability in Van Helsing?
Well, she's very collaborative, and we had a lot of conversations prior to shooting. We were talking about the history of the character, his experiences in life, and where we find him now. And so those dialogues occurred, and then a lot of things happened really organically because of the way that I work. And I like to, of course, you have the text, you have to have the text, you have to know what you're doing and all of that aspect of it. But Natasha was very open to, she gave me a tremendous amount of room to try different things. There was an immediate sense I had confidence in her as a director and trust, and I think she felt the same way. And so we found things, in some scenes that weren't necessarily, there were nuances that weren't necessarily on the page, but we introduced them there, and it was a marvelous collaboration. She's a fantastic, gifted director.
Thank you so much, Titus. Have a good day. Bye bye.
Thank you. Nice to see you.